neighborhood taught me to stay fly. Never trust a snake cause they all sliver. Never cuff a bitch if my dog hit her. Rolling up backs, I don't do swishers. Trying to get my stacks up like I'm Jewish, nigga. Niggas had the plug, they ain't know what to do. Got trapped right now, I'm about to bounce out the booth. If you got enough, I'll bring it to you. If you acting tough, I'll bring it to you. A&S, we the fucking greatest. See them niggas over there, they some fucking haters. They hate to see a young nigga make it to the top, that's what we about to take it. Came in the game like Nino at the Carter. Came in the game, I was balling like a starter. Any competition is a mustard, I slaughter. Niggas on some turkey shit, I'ma have to carve them. Bitches on some greedy shit, I'ma have to starve them. Can't get enough, I'm about to start charging. Wouldn't fuck your bitch even if she tried to offer. Nowadays I swear these niggas getting softer. Riding off emotions, man, that'll get you murked. Shots from the German, I ain't talking about dirt. Body found in a dumpster on the outskirts. Be the ones you least suspect that'll get you out first. Maneuver through the streets like a possum. I fucks with all the killers and the robbers. Bad bitches too that be rocking red bottoms. And all my ratchet hoes that'll ride with no problem. A&S, we the fucking greatest. See them niggas over there, they some fucking haters. They hate to see a young nigga make it to the top, that's what we about to take it.
Rumor is, how could he be so savage? Hey, figure I'm way bigger than these geographic bastards. West side call me near South Philly Snoop. My young boys never balled, but they really shoot. Y'all sweet, lot of sheep in gorilla suits. You will touch who, what, where, that's really cute. The lesson, apply it to perfection. Blow a bunch of fire, I'm inspired by progression. OG kinda tired with the wrecking liars. Niggas got a bunch of Mariahs.
Spree. And police say they...
Introducing Unica, the non-lethal self-defense platform. Lightweight and simple to use. It uses an easy-to-load 5-round magazine and is powered by an 8-gram CO2 cartridge. Byrna launchers fire a 68 caliber chemical-filled projectile using a patented hole-pierce technology where the CO2 canister is only punctured.
Uno, dos, tres, cuatro. You see that black boy over there running scared? His old man in the bottom. He done quit his 9 to 5. He's back full time. Now he's living in the bottom. See that black boy over there running scared? His old man got a problem, and it's a bad one. He ain't done pawned off damn near everything. His old woman away and go bottom. And don't you think it's a crime when time after time after time people in the bottom? There's people living in the bottom. Listen to me. See that sister, she was fine. She's about to take it fine to the bottom. She told me, oh man, committed a crime. He's doing time. Now she's hanging in the bottom. I seen her out there on the avenue all by herself. She sure need help from the bottom. I seen her, the man tried to help her. She cussed him out and they hit him in the bottom. They turned to me, they asked me, kill her. Don't you think it's a crime? No way. And time after time after time, people in the bottom. There's people showing up in the bottom. Give another good example. You see that kid in a big old suit there, that damn near blown his to the bottom. was doctor helping young girls along. If they wasn't too far gone to have problems. But the vendors of the dollar eagle said, "What you doing, man?" And eagle, now he's in the bottle. And now we watch him every day. He's trying to take pictures away from the bottle. He turned to me, he said, "Man, don't you think it's a crime? The way time after time brings a man in the bottle. There's people showing up in the bottle." Come on, hit the lick one time, stick. If you ever come looking for me, you know where I'm bound to be in the bottle. Turn around, look around on any corner. If you see some brother looking like a goner, it's gonna be me. Sing the song. Na 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 get a bottle of wine, get a bottle of wine, get a bottle of wine, bottle. All that I'm concerned about is a bottle.
How y'all doing? How y'all doing this Sunday afternoon? What's up, Too Big, Cake Adore, My Opinion, Me and Mine, Sexy Toy Lady. Good to see y'all in the building today. How y'all doing this afternoon, Sunday? Man, I'm kind of distraught, y'all. I'm kind of distraught. Did y'all see the fight last night? My goodness, man. Everything that I thought Errol Spence was going to do to Crawford turned it around and did it to him, man. He punished my man, yo. He punished him, but yo. Hey, Miss Murph, how you doing? Good to see you on a Sunday. But hey, yo, that was a great fight, man. I wouldn't want to see it again at 147. I definitely think Errol Spence should go ahead up to 154, and I think Crawford should stay down there at 147 and get that boots work, man. I think that's going to be another one, man. It's going to be another one. You know. But yeah, how y'all? Hey, Too Big. You seen our man go down like that, bro? That Crawford is tough, bro. I underestimated his power, yo. I definitely underestimated his power. But yo, did y'all see my what's that called? My thumbnail? My thumbnail. Influence. Like as a man, becoming a man, growing up from, childhood, like where do men, get their influence from? Where they become the guy that they are at, like my age. How did I get where my influences come from? They came for me early, man. And it's like words. I always liked the words because my grandfather, he used to talk to me and he would say things like, I'm talking about when I was like 4 or 5 years, 6 years old, my grandfather would call me insightful. And I remember the first time he called me that, I didn't know what it meant. I didn't know what that meant. And we didn't, coming up, the way my family was, if you ain't know what it meant, because my mom, we had those Encyclopedia Britannica from A to Z. I read the Encyclopedia Britannica from A to Z. I used to just go into my room and just read. But anyway, if you didn't know what it mean, you didn't, you go look it up. Slander in the building. What's up, bro? You go look it up. And when I seen what insightful meant, and to be called that at such a young age, that did something that like pumped me up a little bit. You know what I'm saying? And that was that that was the sign of instilling self-esteem in me. That's how words like that instill. As I got older, I see those things that my grandfather used to say, the words that he used to call, things he used to call me, really boosted my self-esteem. Because in my household, we didn't have the it's funny, this is crazy, because my grandmother, she was a devout Christian. Sunday school, Monday school, the church, the white gloves, all that. My grandfather was a Garveyite. You know what I'm saying? So even though we had my grandmama had a white Jesus hanging up, my grandfather had pictures of like black Moseses, and everything was black. You know what I mean? And I saw that at a young age. So I never had, growing up in the Nation of Islam, we didn't have the complex that any man was better than us. And having that instilled at you at such a young age gave you sort of like a confidence where I'm gonna give you an example and another influence. You know, I would see my uncle, if my mom was in the kitchen cooking and stuff, when my uncles would come in, you know, immaculately dressed, take off his suit jacket, undo his tie. He'd sit at the table and he might get the string beans and start popping string beans. You know what I'm saying? And they're talking to my mom. This is my uncle. You know what I mean? And they're popping the beans and stuff. Now, when women would start coming in the kitchen and stuff like that, he would leave. You know what I mean? So that was an influence I had from, like, it was okay for, you know, that's how I became such a great cook, being in the kitchen with my mom, helping my mom out, you know what I mean? But not around, we didn't do, when a bunch of women came, you left that job to them, which was their job. But it was okay for a male to help out in the kitchen, you know, just another influence, you know what I mean? Because today, a lot of young boys or young males think that it ain't a man's place to be in the kitchen. You know what I mean? Niggas can't cook today, you know? So, you know, and then I always seen my grandfather get up early in the morning. And I think that's where I got a lot of that from, getting up early in the morning, because I knew my grandfather was a diabetic. So he had to have something sweet in the morning. Graham crackers and what was it? The apple butter. And if you got up early enough, you can get some of that. I liked it that. So I used to make sure I got up early so I can get me a graham cracker and some apple butter with my grandfather. You know what I mean? The other kids, they couldn't get up that early. You know what I'm saying? So that was the influence of getting up early. I always seen him going to work. So, and then, you know, my father, you know what I mean? He didn't get up and go to work like my grandfather. You know, now I never knew what kind of job my father had. I do know that once upon a time, my father was the warlord of one of the most notorious gangs in North Philadelphia. I'm from South Philadelphia. You know what I'm saying? I would see my pop. Now I lost my father at a young age. You know what I mean? Around 5 or 6. Somewhere around there. But like I am with my son today, even though I got 7 siblings, you know, everybody in the world know that I was the favorite child of my parents. That's just even my siblings know that to this day. But you know, my father, when he would get up, it wouldn't be in the early in the morning. His schedule he would go out, and you know, he might not come back for a couple of days. I might not see my pop for a couple of days, but that was normal. You know what I mean? It was so normal that when he went away, he went out of town. He was murdered out of town. You know what I mean? But my father, he was in the life. He was in the streets. You know what I'm saying? He was a street guy. He was a gangster. You know what I'm saying? And uh, it was no like no father after that for a minute. Yeah, I mean, I had my uncles, I had my brothers, you know what I mean? Now I had uncles who were career military men. You know what I mean? I remember my uncle, he taught me how to make my bed. He taught me how to fold my socks like they do in the military. And he just taught me about keeping things in order. That's another influence I got. You know, so I'm just saying, like, most of the influences I got were from strong males. You know what I mean? Strong males. And even though all of them weren't street guys, they all had a positive influence on me. There were no weak yes men in my family. You know what I'm saying? That I had an influence from. Now, as the years went on, you know, my mom, she had a bar. You know what I mean? My mom had a bar, you know, so I can't get this right now. So my mom, she had a bar and she remarried. I think I was about maybe 12, 13, 14 or something, you know. Now, my step pop, the thing about that was being in the bar, you know, cleaning up and stuff like that. I always seen that guy in the bar. I knew who he was. You know what I mean? I knew his name, Mr. Such and Such. Everybody knew him. A lot of people knew him. Another guy who, when you seen him, you knew he had some type of stature. You know what I mean? But when we all got together and we moved as a family when he married my mom and we moved into the new crib and shit, you know what I mean? I realized that, you know what I mean, my step pop, and I'm going to tell you how that came about. Now, as you know, like when I've been a hustler all my life, you know what I'm saying? Now, going to Islamic school as a youth coming up, I think I went when it was time for me, when I finally wanted to go to, my mom allowed me to go to public school, but I still dressed like I was going to Muslim school. And at the time, it was the Sister Claire Muhammad School, and it was the Fruit of Islam. So I wear a suit and a tie and shoes. So when I used to go to gym class, I used to be running late a lot because I had to change out of the suit and all that. And the gym teacher, who was a husky white guy, he used to, you know, pick on me, I thought. And you know what I'm saying? So one day I used to, as I say, I used to hustle all my life. So what I used to do, I had to sell newspapers for the community. They was called Muhammad Speaks. So I used to sell the Muhammad Speaks. But to get people to buy the Muhammad Speaks, I would once again get up early in the morning. Now we had three types of newspapers in Philadelphia: the Bulletin, the Enquirer, and the Daily News. Now early in the morning, the trucks with the newspaper, they drop loads of newspapers off in front of stores and supermarkets and stuff like that. I would come through and scoop up a stack of each one. Boom. Put them along with my Bilalian, my Muhammad Speaks, and stand in front, you know, the bus stop on the, you know what I mean, early in the morning. I'm out there like 6, 7, catch the grown folks going to work. Boom. I sell my newspapers and stuff. Boom. Now it's time for me to go to school. You know what I mean? And as you know, like my mom coming from the islands, my uncles and stuff like that, marijuana always been a part of my, you know, my family. So I also used to roll up like maybe 200 buck joints, you know what I mean? And I would sell them 7 for $5 or $1 for $1. You know what I mean? And I do this every day. This is, you know, junior high school. Now, remember I was telling you the dude, the gym teacher, so one day, I read the newspaper and it was talking about the white man and how he was the blue-eyed, hook-nosed devil. And that's what that man looked like. His eyes was real light blue. He had the hook nose. And I was superior to him. That's what that's what the Honorable Elijah Muhammad teached and stuff. So I was like, man, bunk that. When I get back in school, if I'll purposely be late for gym. So when I came out the gym late, he tried to make me run laps. So I defied him. I was defiant. You know what I'm saying? And he ran up towards me, and I did not flinch. And he gave me the chicken wing. He grabbed my neck and he took my arm and he put me in a chicken wing, yo. And it hurt. And when he let me go, I ran out the school. I ran straight home. I told my mom what happened. My mom brought me back to school. My mom is she was a nurse by trade. That's what she was. She worked for Philadelphia General Hospital. So she was a compassionate lady. So she talked to the principal and stuff like that. You know what I mean? Cool. So I went back to class and whatever. The next day I came to school, all the teachers was looking at me different. I didn't know what happened. Then I heard my step pop had came up there. I don't know what he did to the teacher, but the story goes that my step pop came up there to the gym class, to the school. He went to the gym teacher. Now, mind you, my step pop was like 6'6", you know what I mean? My step pop put him in a chicken wing, but he didn't grab his arm. They say my pop put him in a chicken wing and put a straight razor around his neck and told him if he ever put his hands on his son again, he would kill him. And from that day on, all the teachers in that school looked at me different. You know what I mean? Not only because I came in there with a suit and a tie on, you know what I mean? I was well-mannered, but if you put your hands on me, I had somebody that would come in there and hurt you. And back in them days, it was people didn't buck. You know, you didn't do that to people. A lot of black men bowed their eyes down to other men. You know what I mean? And that's because of the influences they had. You know what I mean? So you gotta understand, if your father, imagine your father being a raging alcoholic. You know what I'm saying? He's just a drunk. You know what I mean? I have friends who had fathers like that. And like my house was always an open house. So you can come, they would come stay at the crib. We knew why they were staying with me. You know what I mean? Because that type of person is very unpredictable. You never know what you get out of a drunk, but the influence that you get from them, and that if that's your father or someone close to you, it's going to carry on to you to your adulthood. You know what I mean? You see a lot of guys who, like I said, I liked it to be around my mother, helping in the kitchen cook, my aunts, you know, they all love me. You know, my sisters used to watch me, you know what I mean? So, but even they knew, like when my sisters was watching me and they had me around a bunch of girls, their girlfriends and stuff, they would send me go, you know what I mean? I wasn't allowed to sit around and listen to the women's conversations. And you could tell by the way a lot of men talk that a lot of their influence come from women. With the girl, with the U and the R and the L, you know, the ooh chows. Like I never heard those I always heard those sayings from Messi. Messi was never equated with a man. Men weren't messy. That was always something that was, you knew when people were talking about somebody being messy, they was talking about a woman. But today you have men who accept that term of being messy, you know what I mean? And it's because of the feminization that has occurred throughout the generation. You know that scientifically they say if a man challenges himself, it increases his testosterone. You hear me? If a man challenges himself, it increases his testosterone. See, but we got a lot today. We got a lot of men who are what you would call failures at life. Everybody was dealt the hand. Everybody's hand wasn't silver spoon. Some of us could say we got dealt a bad hand, but you got dealt the hand. It's not the hand you were dealt, it's how you played it. And some people, every hand they played, they lost. You know what I mean? You know, and it's hard to be self-motivated and challenge yourself when you've been a loser all your life. You know what I'm saying? You know, we got guys who went to the military. They couldn't crack it. They failed. You know what I mean? We got guys who wanted to be in other forms of social work and advocacy and things like. They failed at it. You know, they couldn't cut it. You know what I'm saying? You know, we even had people who wanted to be athletes. You know what I mean? Failed and couldn't cut it. You know, hey, all I ever wanted to be was a gangster. Yeah, that's a terrible thing to say, you know what I mean? But all I wanted to be was a gangster getting money, you know what I mean, who was known for, you know, doing gangster shit. And that's what I was successful at. The shit I did in the streets is legendary. You know what I mean? I wanted to come home from prison and start a family, start a business. You know, I did that. Yeah, I did that. You know what I mean? Just a regular, you know, just a regular working guy, you know, 9 to 5, take care of my business. That's what I wanted to do. That's what I do. You know what I'm saying? So anything that mostly that I put forth an effort to do, I'm usually successful at it. You know what I mean? I went to check out the fights last night. I ran into an old head of mine. And I remember when I was this was when I was a juvenile. I think I was about to go maybe 78 or 1978, 79, 80, somewhere around there. But I know I was ready to start high school. You know what I'm saying? And that summer, I caught a homicide. You know what I mean? I caught a murder case and shit. And right before I was ready to start high school and shit. And I was in a juvenile facility. And one of the staff that worked there, his name was Press. I ran into him last night. His name was Press. And at the time, he was dating, y'all might heard of her. Her name was Evelyn Champagne King. She was a major recording artist. She got some hits. He was dating her. She from West Philly. You know what I'm saying? So he was dating her at the time, but he was also the staff at the juvenile joint that I was being held in. And I remember, man, they used to play basketball at night. They used to open up the gym and outside guys used to come in. And it was me and another boy, Fred Jones. Shout out to my nigga Fred. Me and Fred, they used to let me and Fred come down at night and play with the staff and shit. So one night they bring in Villanova University, some players from Villanova, some players from Cheney, you know what I mean? And it was, you know, the staff press. It was also a white guy. He was the number 2 pick of the Detroit Pistons with Isaiah Thomas. Isaiah was number 1. He tore his knee up and he owned some car lots and shit. But anyway, they brought me down there and shit that night and shit. And I was balling with them. And, you know, after we got finished, the coach from Villanova asked the staff, like, what school did I go to? They thought I was, they thought I was in college. They thought I was a college player or something. That's how I was balling out. And they told him, yo, you know what I'm saying? So that's how I wound up going to a private high school through those situations. You know what I mean? But I'm going to leave that for another story. But it was just the influence, you know what I mean, that I had. I had a lot of people who would steer me in the right direction, man. Hey, what's up, How you doing? I had a lot of people who, because I would, as far as being an athlete, man, I was a tremendous athlete. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm a natural fighter. So like that's in my genes and shit. So that shit came kind of natural. You know what I mean? But as far as I like to play baseball, shortstop, but I was a better basketball player. Anything. You know what I'm saying? So like a lot of people used to try to, I played on a lot of teams. I went to a lot of camps, but man, it was times when I would go to a camp and shit, you know, a 3-day camp, and man, I might take, you know, pound of weed up there and turn everybody on and shit, man. And you know what I mean? I remember when I was going to the school in Downingtown. I was going to the school in Downingtown, a private school, when I was in high school. You know, yeah, obviously I got I didn't get charged. I didn't get found guilty of that murder case. So I came home and I started going to Downingtown. You know what I mean? And it's just that I was so addicted to the streets at such a young age. I was up there I started doing stuff up there. You know what I mean? I just started doing stuff up there and got to the point where, you know, my mom was just like, you might as well just, you know, go back to regular public school. You know what I'm saying? Because it just wasn't working for me. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't working for me. And my mom always let us make our own decisions. She wasn't one of them mothers who she let you bump your head. You know, she let me do everything that I needed to do to become a man. She didn't interfere with me, you know, I'm becoming a man. You know what I'm saying? And like I said, like I got older brothers. Like I come from an 8-piece. There's 8 of us. You know what I mean? I'm number 7. You know what I'm saying? So I got 2 older brothers. You know what I mean? I got 2 older brothers and I got 4 older sisters. You know what I'm saying? So one of my older brothers was a career military man. You know what I'm saying? He's like, you know, like my uncles. He followed in the footsteps of one of my uncles. You know what I mean? Now I had another brother, my next brother. He was, you know, he was like my step pop. You know what I mean? My Black Mafia, you know what I mean? Ranking Black Mafia member. He was, I remember when we was little, we used to go to see him. And when because he was arrested as a juvenile for kidnap and murder when he was a juvenile. You know what I'm saying? He did like 20 some years. You know what I mean? He came home and he was a ranking member of the Black Mafia. You know what I'm saying? And he was also an influence on me. You know what I mean? Because at one time when my brother first came home, he was going to Drexel to get an engineering degree. You know what I'm saying? He came home. I remember he had a job, and he was going to school. And then I remember, man, one day he pulled up at my mom's house in a steel gray Cadillac. He had a suit on because they always wore suits and ties. And you know, I didn't know what he was into, but I knew it wasn't no goddamn schooling no more. You know what I mean? And I always, even, you know, getting into the hustling game, man, that was inevitable, man. Like, because I always hustled. If it wasn't going to the supermarket, because we was always told the motto coming up back then was do for self. We wasn't taught to beg. And so when people be like, I be on here begging for cash apps and I got a man taking care of me. Only a person who's not a man would say a thing like that. You know what I mean? You can't be a man if you say that, when I've been telling you from day one what I come from. Do for self. I also told you that, you know what I mean, I'm not the person that will, before I beg and shit, I'll pull out my gun and take it. I've always been in the take business. So how would I ever be out here starving with the caliber of niggas out here? You know what I mean? That's why I go to work every day though. Everybody know that I put in, if it ain't If it ain't legitimate work, if it ain't legitimate work, I will do illegal work to eat. And you got to understand something. Just because you do something against the law don't mean it's morally wrong. You can do something lawful, but morally, that shit's all fucked up. Y'all want me to say that again? You can do things that are lawful, but morally, it's all fucked up. And you can do some things that's against the law, but morally, you can stand on it. Yeah, those are facts. And you got to be a man to understand that concept. You know what I mean? You got to be a man to understand that concept who have been influenced by real men. You know what I mean? You can almost listen to a guy who had a father who was a piece of shit just by what comes out his mouth. Just by what comes out his mouth. Just by his actions, because 9 times out of 10, he's overtly emotional. He's definitely obsessive. That's why in prison, right? But even me growing up, right? Because let me tell y'all something. The first time I ever saw a homosexual man was a school teacher. Now, that's when I started going to public school. You know what I mean? I never seen a man act like that until I went to public school. You know what I'm saying? And I was always taught that, you know, we didn't say nothing to them. They weren't as blatant as they are today. They were more, you know, they had their circle. You know what I mean? Like most of the guys most of the black men during the Renaissance era, they were homosexuals. You know what I mean? A lot of the guys the guy who used to do Martin Luther King's writings and stuff, he was homosexual, but they were a different type of a homosexual, not like today's hot Cheeto type. You know what I mean? They was different. They were always dressed well. They were always respectful, and you can show them respect because they showed a great level of respect. Not like on today where you got these 2 circles in a snap type niggas. You know what I'm saying? You know? But the thing is, like, they got that influence from somewhere. Heard a couple of openly gay men in my neighborhood. Had a couple in your neighborhood growing up. Yeah, and I'm from the project, so I seen a lot of them. You know what I mean? But they weren't like the ones we have here on the internet. You know what I mean? They were respectful men. They weren't, you know, but they did their thing in their circle. You know, and they didn't impose that on other people, you know what I mean? And they didn't use that as a shield, you know what I mean? Even though they didn't have those letters and stuff back then, you know what I mean? You know, but anyway, in prison, right? A lot of them in prison, man. It's a lot of them in prison. And one thing that the brothers was always taught, man, there's no reason you should. Now, sometimes they are. Everybody has a job in the prison, so they have jobs too. Some of them might work in the kitchen. Somebody might work in the metal shop. Everybody got jobs and shit. But it should be no reason why you should be, you know, having, you know, long conversation with them. You know, it should be no reason y'all should be exchanging anything, because anything you need, if you ain't got it, you should be able to get it from your brother. But what I'm trying to say is, You don't get into arguments with them. It's just like a woman. You know what I mean? My uncle told me, like, yo, you can't argue with, there's no win in arguing with a woman, verbal argument, back and forth. There's no win. You know what I mean? So can you imagine arguing with a person who has woman qualities to the point where they want to act like a woman? So everything they do is extra. You know what I'm saying? So they are extra with arguing with men. And we was told, like, don't even get into no arguing with them, dude. And definitely don't get into no fight, because at the end of the day, they still men. And he might beat you the fuck up. You know what I'm saying? And then how that look on your jacket. So to avoid all that, that's why I tell y'all on here, like, you know, when I realize that a dude is a certain way, I'm done. I don't want no arguments from him. I don't want no smoke. I don't ever want to be known to have had any with a motherfucker like that. You know what I'm saying? Because that's how I was taught. The people who influenced me to be the stand-up man that I am told me, like, you let them be them. You know what I mean? You know, what they do and eat ain't gonna make you shit. Definitely what they say should never affect a guy like you. You know what I mean? You a giant. You know, they peons. And like I said, man, like, confidence, self-esteem is instilled in you at a young age. You don't just automatically have that. It's come from, if your parents were passive, some just passive, and then you got passive aggressive. We tend to take on the characteristics of the people who raised us and the people who are around, the people who most influence us. You know what I'm saying? So you gotta go. You gotta go back. You gotta go back to understand where a person got their character from. You know what I mean? Some people are influenced by people they see on TV. They might see a television personality, and they want to be that person. You know what I mean? And that's mostly, we find that in little girls. Little girls tend to want to be different personalities. You don't find men who want to be, I'm gonna be this guy one day, I'm gonna be this guy the next day. We try to find our identity and establish that shit early. You're gonna know who I am, what I'm about, and how I get down early. Well, at least that's what I was taught. You know what I mean? You ain't got to figure me out. This is what it is. This is what you're gonna get. You know what I mean? This is what you're gonna get. But that just comes from, you know, having strong men around you, to the point where you'll get around people who are beneath you. And when I say beneath you, that's what I mean. You low life. You know what I mean? How can you not be when I know what I am? You know what I mean? I know, and I'm not ashamed to say that people are beneath me. And you could take it. Hold on for a minute, y'all. Excuse me. What's up, bro? Yeah. All right, yeah, I'm not. You could take that as somebody being arrogant or whatever, but that's not the case. You know what I mean? You don't have to compromise how you look at yourself to appease motherfuckers who you know are lowlifes, who have accomplished nothing in life, you know what I mean, who have forever been losers. They walk in a room and you don't know who the fuck they are. You don't even turn your head twice. You nobody, you know what I mean? I got an aura. You don't know that. Somebody has to tell. I've been told that on several occasions. See, that's the reason why I talk like I talk, because this is not what I say. This is what people say about me. I'm a kaboom, look who stepped in the room type nigga. And you don't like that. If you're not a secure man, you don't like a man who talks like that. You want to say he a bum. You want to say he lived with his mother. When I tell you, if my mother was alive, me and my family would be living with my mother because I would be taking care of her like I always have, you know. And I get it where you can be a person who looks at your mother like a piece of shit. I get that from I see that a lot. You know what I mean? You know, because she didn't protect you. You have mommy, that's called mommy issues, man. You know, because at the end of the day, you know what I mean, we're taught it's your mother who comes first, and then who comes next is your mother, and then who comes next is your mother, and then after that, your father. You know what I'm saying? And I know a lot of men don't have that concept because they hold anger and animosity towards their mothers. And some of them even to their fathers because their fathers didn't protect them. You know what I mean? Their fathers didn't show them how to be a man. And as they got older, they realized that they can't even protect their own brew, you know, because they never were taught how. You know what I mean? That's why you see a lot of men go through nervous breakdowns and shit like that. Pressure of being a black man who has yet to deal with his childhood trauma. You know what I mean? Black men scared of the hospital and they scared of therapy. You know what I mean? They scared to face the man in the mirror, Mike Jack. You know what I mean? You know, I bet it's a lot of you niggas don't even got mirrors in y'all crib. Y'all don't like what y'all see when y'all wake up in the morning. Y'all regret waking up in the morning. A lot of y'all, if y'all could, y'all would commit self-murder. You know what I mean? Because your life is worthless. Because all it's about is coming on the internet, doing the same thing that you've been doing on the internet for over almost 10 years. Where's the accomplishments? No accomplishments. No accomplishments, no monetization on the channel, no informative information coming from the channel, nothing that a person could, no meat, just God. And if it is meat, it's spoiled, you know. And that's not because you know, you don't have a voice, because everybody got a voice. It's just that you don't have nothing on your head. You were never taught, you know what I mean, to know the difference between what's real and what's fake. Because before you try to analyze and break people down, you got to know who you are. You got to know who you are. And I'm telling you, man, money is the biggest influencer. You think so, L? You today in today's society, some niggas will take a sexual romp over the money. You know what I mean? Some people are influenced by sex. You know what I mean? Because niggas are weak. Men are weak today. Like, you know what I mean? That's what we call thirsty. You know what I mean? Thirsty men today. That's just comes from the male society feminization throughout the generations. You know what I mean? Where a lot of things that back in the day a man would dare not do, that today these men do it like it's second nature. Like, come on now. Come on now. Come on now. You know, I'm not gonna just keep making sexual innuendos about no nigga. I might do it about a female. That's what men do. But men don't keep making sexual innuendos about men. They don't do that. But today, what y'all call men are allowed to do those things. You know, today, what y'all call men are allowed to, you know, suck their teeth and play with dolls. And as a little boy, I wasn't allowed to play with dolls because males didn't play with dolls that were for females. You know what I'm saying? I don't know how other people were raised, but I was raised that men didn't play with dolls. They were for girls. Now, if that's what you want to do, you know what I mean? Hey, you got the right to play with anything you want. You know what I'm saying? But me, don't fucking play with me. Don't play with me. They still are in my world. They still are in my world. What the? Mommy issues are terrible. Yes, me and mine. And I never understood how a man could not love his mother. You know what I'm saying? I know they say that you're not supposed to place any person on a pedestal, but man, fuck all that, man. Like my mom, man, you know, that's it. That's it. You know, that's it, man. But we live in different societies today. We live in different times today. You know what I mean? Where respect is this is respect. You a pedophile respectfully. You know what I'm saying? You know, they will respectfully disrespect you is what goes on today. I don't play by them rules. You don't have to disrespect me 2, 3, 4 times. You only got to do it once. You only got to do it once. You know what I mean? And like I always say, man, people, you could tell that they're not good with relationships. You know what I mean? Especially, it's like these people be on here. Y'all ain't never just had a situation in real life where you and a person just stop fucking with each other. Y'all ain't call each other every day and argue. Y'all just stop fucking with. I don't fuck with you. You don't fuck with me. Y'all ain't got the same. It seems like, but on here, what y'all not understanding is people can cease at any given time. But suppose I'm a attention-starved whore. You know, I get no attention in real life. Nobody really likes me. I ain't got no peoples. Okay. On here, if I lie and say, whether it's what they say, good publicity or bad publicity, it's going to get me some attention that in real life I'm starving to get. Where they say people do anything for attention because, like I told y'all, attention is a drug just like cocaine. Lots of insecure people who flip out at rejection online. So can you imagine in real life when they are rejected, the type things they might resort to, L? Like, see, I don't know it. I'm not, everybody's been turned down. Everybody's heard no. You know what I mean? Everyone has dealt with some form of rejection. You know what I mean? Even me. You know what I'm saying? But the thing is, how do you deal with it? You know what I mean? In real life, you're supposed to just move on. Like, okay, you don't fuck with me, cool. Move on. But if a person can't do that on the internet, there's no way they can move on in real life. I didn't know content creators felt like celebs getting Metro. Now, yeah, Al, it's addictive. You know what I mean? They have this false sense of self becoming content creators. You know what I mean? You when you got a better chance in being a better content creator if you just be you. See, you know what I mean? I think you'll work out better that way. And like I said, man, I ain't trying to be braggadocious, but I've been a hood celeb, you know what I mean, since I shot my first nigga. I got celebrity status. You know what I mean? Yeah, I was hanging last night. You know what I'm saying? I'm burnt, you know, I'm old. I'm burnt out on partying and all that. But I'll do a walk through a club, you know? So I ain't got to come on here and lie on people and bug all out for attention. You know what I mean? You know, my team had to tell me, like, yo, they have to tell me, because I be wanting to go live anytime. They like, no, don't do that. You might not catch the crowd. I don't care about the crowd. I think that people come back and listen to what I gotta say, even if they don't like me, because they know that nigga be talking shit. But I got jewelry in my shit, man. I got like I'm not your average I'm not regular like the rest of these niggas. These niggas not cut or come from or have the influences that I've had in my life, man. And I've had so many, man. You know, it's like the situations that I've been put in. Like I remember when I was in high school, right? And you know, after advisory, that's a certain class. Then you might go. That might be your first period class. So I remember one day I went to my first period class, and I seen these names on the blackboard. President, vice president, student body president, and all that. So the vice president had a name that was, I was like, wow, I like that name. You know what I mean? I wonder who she is. You know what I'm saying? So I goes, you know, throughout the class or whatever, go through the day. So the next day I come back to that, you know what I mean? While they're in advisory, I come back and I peep in there. And, you know, I'm the type of person who I like to get a name, see 100 faces, and try to put that name to a face. I don't want to know. I want to figure it out. So that's what I said. I was looking at all the females in that class, trying to figure out who this chick was. You know what I mean? So there was some people in my neighborhood that was in that class. So I finally wound up asking them, and they told me, you know what I'm saying? Now I was a sophomore then. I was in 10th grade. They were all seniors and shit. So I wound up meeting the girl. You know what I'm saying? Me and her get real cool. But the ironic thing was, this is what's ironic about that. Her brother, he was one of the biggest dope boys in South Philadelphia. I had no idea. No idea. Until I met her and got in with the family and realized who I. See, I've always just been put in them kind of situations. Like I said, when my young boy from out the way, RIP to my young boy Malik, man, my partner and shit, he got the plug. The OG came home and put him on. He just didn't know how to put it together. So he came and got me. I was already doing some other shit. I didn't look for that. It's like the streets was always calling me, man. You know what I'm saying? The streets always called me, man. And to be able, I'm 58 years old. I've been in the streets since I was running active. I've been active in the streets since I was like 14, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, I've been putting shit down since I was youngin', you know what I'm saying? So for me to have survived all that, you know what I mean, then have to go amongst men, because I wasn't a grown man when I first went to the penitentiary. I wasn't a grown man. I didn't know all the rules. You know what I mean? I had to figure it out. You know what I'm saying? But I knew one thing for sure, two things for certain. I came in here as a man, and that's how I'm gonna leave. You know what I mean? And if that meant, taking somebody's life to save mine, I was willing to do that. When I went in there, man, I said to myself, and this wasn't out of gangsterism either, yo, because I lost my G. I'm gonna tell y'all when my G started fading, man, when I questioned how bad I really was when I was going to Graterford State Penitentiary. The wall, I was on what they call the Bluebird. That's that bus. You know what I mean? I was shackled, you know what I mean? The white boy Freddie, shout out to white boy Freddie, the bank robber. Me and Freddie was shackled together, and I seen that motherfucking wall. The door, the steel door was big as a castle. Do you know a cat? You ever seen a real big cat? So that bitch who work in the dungeon might know about them big castle door. But anyway, that shit, I knew that behind that motherfucking wall, man, it was gonna be life or death, man. It was gonna be life or death. That's why I be saying, like, I know pressure. You guys, you internet guys y'all don't understand pressure. Y'all know nothing about the pressure I done put niggas under and been under and never folded or bust. Y'all niggas bust on the internet. Y'all like, y'all, you know what I mean? Discombobulated all over the place. One day that's your friend. Next day you making videos about them. Then talking about somebody else always op hopping. You know what I mean? Come on now. Come on now. When I'm done with a motherfucker, I'm done with him. As y'all can, I'm done with you. I don't fuck with you. You know what I mean? As far as being cordial, man, I was taught that at a young age. You know what I'm saying? Let me tell you something, man. When I got to Holmesburg, this is the county prison, my brother had got shot. You know what I mean? On the streets. My brother had got shot. The bull shot my brother was in Holmesburg. You know what I'm saying? When I come through Holmesburg, I'm ordered, you know what I mean? I told you after my man Daryl got stabbed and all that shit, he was in on F rear, which is the hole, but it's not administrated. He had did something and got put in the hole. So when he heard I was in the jail, he asked to talk to me and shit. You know what I'm saying? Now the thing was, he shot my brother. You know what I mean? So he's sending messages to me. He want to come out the hole. You know what I mean? Bam, 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 bam. So I actually let Ball come out the hole and live on the compound. You feel me? I let him come out the hole and live on a compound. Saying that to say that just because we was ops and he did something out of pocket, you know what I mean? When I said as a man, I was going to be cordial, that's what I was. You know what I'm saying? But as soon as I was able to get the green light on him, I green lighted him. You know what I'm saying? I green lighted him. He shot my brother. You know what I mean? But the thing was, he was an op, and I let him come live on the block. I let him come out of hole. You know what I'm saying? Like, just because, man, you may have had beef for once upon a time, you ain't got to carry that shit if you ain't gonna carry it out. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's just an unnecessary burden that niggas be holding. You know what I mean? Like, a strong men, we don't live off the past. I don't live off my past, yo. My past is my past. It is what it is. I can speak about it, but that's not what I live off. I don't stay back there. I'm in the present. You know what I mean? Striving to get things done for the future. We working for, because I'm done in the game. As far as the game, I'm done. I ain't got no, you know what I'm saying? I ain't got no those kind of issues and shit like y'all be thinking y'all have on YouTube with me. I don't have them kind of issues on the real out here on the real street, because a lot of the guys that I deal with, you know, they not out there like that. They not even, you know, it's gonna be always one, you know, once you in the streets the way I was, you'll always be a part of that life. You know what I mean? Always, you know, like at the little, you know, fight John last night. It's, you know, a lot of active niggas in there. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? And, you know, that's just the crowd that I, you know, one of the crowds that I'm able to, you know, maneuver in. Bunch of street niggas, bunch of thugs, bunch of dope dealers, even though I'm not in the game like that, you know what I mean? But I'm affiliated with, you know what I'm saying? You know, just like when I can go to work and conduct the whole meeting amongst the staff, you know what I mean? I could do that, you know what I'm saying? Because I was taught to be able to conduct myself in any situation. Men are able to adapt, you know what I mean? You know, that's why, you know, we traditionally, you know, the man at a certain age, I think it was 12 years old, he would get sent into the jungle. You know what I mean? He would get sent out into the jungle by himself. And he had to come back a man. You know what I mean? I'm about that. I'm going in the jungle. I'm coming back with a lion's coat on. I'm gonna have me a motherfucking bearskin hat. I'm gonna have me some alligators on. Like, that's how men become men. You have, it's called a rite of passage. These niggas ain't getting no rite of passage. They just skipping right into what they believe to be manhood. You know what I mean? And have no shame. See, that's another thing, yo. How long I been on here? Because I don't want to be on here too long. I know it's Sunday. I know y'all probably cooking some Sunday meals. Or do people still do that? You know what I mean? Do you still get a Sunday meal cooked and stuff like that? Or can you cook a Sunday meal for your family if your woman ain't around? You know what I mean? You know, like we were taught that. You know what I mean? We were taught to be entrepreneurs and self-sufficient, self-made men. You know what I mean? Skip to my Lou ass ninjas. Yeah, skip to my Lou ass. Wait, we would, you know what I mean? I just miss, well, I don't miss it because I got my own tribe to raise. You know what I'm saying? You know, I got my own boy, you know what I mean? Boys, you know what I mean? To raise, you know. I raise, you know, solid men, you know what I mean? And that's why I don't want to have any confusion with, you know, the way I influence, you know, because me, man, out here, I'm a big influence on a lot of people. A lot of the steppers out here that's active have been influenced by me. You know, that's why I'm able to be highly respected, you know, in the game that I'm in. You know what I'm saying? In the game that let me say that I wasn't, you know, but to this day, you know, I'm a respected individual, you know what I mean, to the guys that's active, you know what I mean? And you know, we don't need, like, men have a circle. We don't just fuck around with everybody. You know what I mean? Like a person who just deals with everybody, a man like, oh, he's my friend. He's my friend. You too friendly. You and it's, I mean, it's nothing wrong, like I said, with being courteous and shit like that, but to be all, give me a minute, y'all. Give me something to drink.
Pop, I told you I got these niggas. I'm not gonna let these fuckboys destroy this. Gangsta shit gon' live as long as I'm alive. My bitch is a rider. I'm on the block, ducking and running, fucking and coming, pitching and serving, cooking white fluff in the oven. It's summertime and I'm loving the heat. Streets is bubbling, customers keep coming and sweet. Running the beef, we gunning them. It's 16 in the clip, and I plans to land at least one of them. Hit a man up in his gland, deceased one of them. Ambulance calling the van, the priest one of them. Coming to get at least one of them. The man's tried to front in the land that we's governing. So fam, had it coming in. You should have seen him trying to reach before that he smothered him. Seen him in the streets before them sheets covered him. Lady weeping because she mothered him, beefing with the ambulance, but he just couldn't recover him. Miss, it wasn't enough of him. You should have never fucked with them boys from US. They rough, it's too much of them. It ain't another crew touching them. Them boys certified hoodlums like Bumpy and Dutching them, clutching them hammers like the bananas and we gorillas. You niggas gon' feel us, understand us till they kill us. We be the realest upon the planet. We don't ask for respect, motherfucker. We demand it. Nigga take it for granted. He get handed the head of his man. Tell your man what you said. Tell your man what you did. Motherfucker, tell your man that you dead for treating a grown man like he a kid. Acting like you was big. You ready to die. I'm ready to kill. Niggas playing. You ain't ready for real. You ain't ready to feel the cold steel. The fire inside, that cold chill. You get right for you die. Look your life in your eyes, motherfucker. Cause your life is mine. You got a death wish. You're not gonna oblige. Family, I can provide you lame niggas with shots and wounds, plots, graveyards, and tombs in the pine box. Or I can give you niggas 9 shots and you can disappear like Hoffa and get buried behind rocks. I'm not the one to test the gun and vest. I'm number one, the best, son. I've already outdone the rest. So when you come, nigga, come correct. I'm a product of poverty, drug dealers and robbery, plotting and scheming, beating demons. That's inside of me, a menace to society, shooting for notoriety, riding on these bitch ass niggas before they ride on me. Probably die in the blaze of glory, but when I die, roll a hazel from me. Bury me a G. Don't worry, mama, ain't nothing left for me to see. I done buried the best, now death's coming for me. But I ain't scared, I know that they coming, I'm right here. Ain't nobody running, motherfuckers, I'm gunning. Motherfuckers till the bullets is gone. It's what you wanted, motherfuckers is on. Motherfuckers was wrong or right. Fuckers is on tonight. Ain't no sucker. Motherfucker, I was born to fight. And I brawl and bite when niggas twice my size. Don't get it twisted, bitches like my eyes. Niggas like her eyes keeps it gangster. One on my waist, you front bitch, it be one in your face. You be running that race with death, gasping, chasing breath while I'm laughing with that hockey mask Jason left. You baskets keep acting like I ain't the best. About to die, nigga, save your breath.
Yeah, what's up, Riz? Riz with the punches from the gate. Good to see you, bro. Hey, man, Miles, what you said? Not tribe. How are in the tribe, and why am I just finding out about said tribe? Okay, now we got Bear Z, we got Kai Z, we got Zane Z, we got Zori Z, we got we got the Z's, then we got the I got Chicken McNugget, right? What they say? A Chicken McNugget. I got 10 kids, 11 baby mothers. Huh? And that's another thing, right? Man, you walking down the street, right? Nasty ass crack whore talking about, hey, you a bum. You ain't shit. What would you what the fuck? Keep it pushing. Like, a motherfucker, calling himself a reverend and out here talking about kiss they ass and such penis size and raisins and I'm messy and all that. You gonna go back and forth with you can't be serious. We were told not to, you let them go ahead and talk whatever they're gonna say, because none of that shit should bother you. Those people they not on your level. You know what I mean? That's like arguing with a woman. And that's a no-no. We all know that. We all know that. So like I said, man, internet, the YouTube content creators should have some kind of talent, man. Something, man. A story to tell, some type of animation, some type of information, not just trying to come at a person that you don't know and get people channel strike down and lie and get people information just to put it out. For what? You ain't going to do nothing. You're just going to come on the internet and hoo-ha-ha messy boots and get a thrill out of that. I mean, does that really, you really get a thrill out of that type of shit? You can't be serious, man. And you want a certified nigga all across the board to go back and forth with a talentless liar who's nowhere near, not even a centipede of a man. Come on, maladjusted freaks. I like that word, maladjusted. That's a good word. Maladjusted, you know. Because people get low, they low. Like I can't, like I'm from the dirt, I'm from the bottom. Yeah, I'm a savage, man. I come from that shit. But I come from it in real life. You know what I mean? I ain't gonna be on the internet playing with people who are not about that, what they say they about. You can't even stand up and be who you are. Fuck what you gonna do. You ain't gonna do shit. You ain't even you. You ain't even the fuck you. So what makes anybody believe what you say out your mouth is significant? It's too late in the game for a lot of y'all. Forever losers. It takes, you gotta know how to be a winner, man. You gotta know how to be a winner. Everybody has taken L's. But goddamn, y'all whole life is a L. Because y'all only get gratification out of coming on YouTube and trying to be what you're not, somebody you're not. What's up, Hood? How you doing, brother? Good to see you, man. I seen you get that motherfucking fish sandwich, boy. That thing looked like it was popping, man. I'm telling you, man. I'm trying to get down there, man. You know, I want to pull up on you in Brooklyn, man. Hey, Too Big. That Giants game is in December, yo. I think it's December the 5th, bro. So it's going to be cold. So I was thinking about the club tickets and shit. I was thinking we get the club tickets, man. If we, you know what I'm saying, we got till December, you know what I mean? You know what I mean? That's when the Giants come into town. The club is a good spot too, man. I love the club seats, bro. Plus, that's where the bar and everything at. You know, we ain't gotta have our coats on and all that shit. You know what I mean? We could chill and shit like that on that level, you know, on the club level. You know what I mean? Yeah, so yeah, I mean, you and Kay, let me know, man. We gonna work this out, man. That would be great, man. You know what I mean? Because, you know, rest of them clowns, man. A lot of them clowns, Philly a no-fly zone for these niggas, man. You know what I mean? This shit is a no-fly zone, man. Shit, I almost caught some wreck last night, man. If I wasn't a thinking man, you know what I'm saying? You know, because that's another thing, yo. People have forgot how to think for themselves. Due to what? Influence. Eagles versus Giants. Is that a football game or it's English, it's soccer football, bro. Too Big is not meeting nobody from YouTube in real life, including y'all two cats. Yeah. No, I think Too Big might be probably been to a few Eagles games already, man. Everybody go to the Eagles game. Club. I'm a December baby. I'm saying though, Too Big. We can get seats on the we can get other seats though. We can get seats on the field. That ain't no big deal. I don't mind being out there and shit in the elements and shit. You know what I'm saying? But I'm just, yeah, but we can get some joints on the field. They cheaper too. The field seats are cheaper. I mean, I think the seats starting at 165. Yeah, man. So yeah, like back to that thinking for yourself. And that's due to a lot of influences now. And if you're a weak-minded individual, I'm gonna tell you, it's not this is not me, but scientifically, if you have a nervous breakdown, that means your brain has become weak. That means that your receptors in your brain overcharged like electricity, and they sparked the wrong way, and you had a nervous breakdown. That means you have a weak mind. That means you are easily influenced. You might not know that because you have such a weak mind and may not know that you're being influenced. Some people, man, I seen dudes come through the joint, you know what I mean? Like, yo, what you here for? Oh, yeah, we got popped with a John. My peoples told me to go ahead and take the case because this is my first John. And they wind up getting the dub or something. You know what I mean? Wind up can't even hang. After 2 years, they go crazy. That's because they didn't even know they were being influenced because they have such a weak mind. You know what I mean? And a weak mind man, that stems from the influences he had as a youth. Father, uncle, older brother, your mama's boyfriend. And then you got that into play. You know what I mean? See, I was taught that, like, we don't just accept. You don't accept anything anybody say, especially if you don't know. You got to find out, especially in these days and times, because motherfuckers is about that lying game. You know what I mean? They're about that shit. They're about that lying game. But if you just can be swayed anyway and you just go the wind blow, you are a weak-minded individual. You know what I mean? And I'm not speaking about women. I'm speaking about men. You know what I mean? Or males. Because just because you got a part, just because you might have had a couple kids, that don't make you no man. That don't make you no man, because certain things men do not do. Men they just don't do it. It's not in them to do certain things that you see these guys on here who claim to be men do. Too Big, I'll do it. Philly, not far from here. Yeah. You close, Kay. You close. That's a hop, skip, and a jump. That's a train ride for you, Kay. You can jump on a train and get. You can jump on Amtrak and go right to the stadium. You know what I mean? yeah, like so, yeah, a lot of things that like I said, just because you got male parts and you got children and that don't make you a man. You know what I mean? Because y'all, a lot of these guys on here, they remind me more of like kitchen bitches. You know what I mean? Y'all know what a kitchen bitch is, right? You know what I'm saying? These niggas is kitchen bitches, yo. You know? Always trying to project their lifestyle and ideals on, niggas like me. You know what I mean? Because everything they ever done, they was failures at it. Failure. You know what I mean? Set out to do this, you failed. Set out to do that, you failed. You know what I mean? I seen my motherfucking grandfather work until he retired. He didn't work and then go out on disability at a young age so he can catch a motherfucking check. You know what I mean? And call that balling. You know what I mean? Call that living, when you run around catching a motherfucking check because you claiming you disabled. But you get online and you tough, you'll do this, you'll do that. How? You got to call your fucking peoples on you. Get your check shut down. Everybody got these jobs and you work here and you work there, you work everywhere. But most of your time is spent on the internet. In this sector. Crying or lying. Crying or lying. Somebody lied, probably. Probably. But I don't go, my lies is usually for me to get my stuff off. And I appreciate all the people who come through and listen and tap in. Too Big, shout out to Too Big, shout out to the Mrs. Too Big, shout out to Me and Mines, always on deck, Dragon Queen, Cake Adore, you know what I'm saying? Shout out to L, you know what I'm saying? I'm gonna tell y'all, cause I was gonna just, only got 178 subs. Shout out to my 178 subs. But I was just gonna bomb on them motherfuckers, man. Give them all kinds of freaking larvae. I got that from my son. I was gonna get and just I don't care about them shutting down this. I didn't care. You know what I mean? But I'm gonna challenge myself. You know what I mean? I'm gonna challenge myself because I believe that I have the talent to be successful on YouTube. I got it. I just do. You know what I mean? And I ain't got to be talking about nobody. You know what I mean? I could talk about me. I could talk about my experiences. I could talk about my life. You know what I mean? I'm not here to glorify the streets, but that's my life. You know what I mean? So with that being said, man, I appreciate y'all, Miss Murph, my opinion. If I forgot somebody, y'all know I smoke that good marijuana. If y'all check my page yesterday, I did a strain called Cherry Pie. I think I did that Cherry Pie strain yesterday. That's a 26% THC. It's a hybrid. It's cut from that OG purple. It's a sticky icky. It's for they say 3 minutes after puffing it, you know what I mean, you'll start feeling the effects. It's for depression. It's for anxiety. I don't suffer from none of those things and shit. You know what I mean? But it's very relaxed. I like to relax because that's why I could never been a cocaine user. I could never be a cocaine user because at a young age, I always knew that I was hype. You know what I mean? It's, you know what I'm saying? That live wire, I get it popping. I was one of, yeah. You know what I'm saying? So I didn't need that kind of drug and shit. You know what I'm saying? I wasn't never into that hyper shit. You know what I mean? And you know what I'm saying? Plus I seen too many. Being in the game at a young age, you see what getting high off your own supply do to motherfuckers. You know what I mean? And I always knew insightful, like my grandfather told me, I always knew that I had what you would call addictive behaviors. You know what I'm saying? But I'm also being able to recognize that, being insightful at a young age and recognizing that helped me get through not being strung out on drugs, not being a wimp and soft. And hey, Ty, what's up, sis? It just helped me out so much being insightful at a young age and knowing that, yo, I got addictive behaviors. Once I get turned on to something, you know what I mean? And when I got turned on to getting money, you know what I'm saying? I accepted that addiction over getting turned out on drugs. You know what I mean? You know, when I first shot somebody, well, I'm gonna tell you what they told me. They said that I had a propensity for violence. You know what I mean? If anybody know what the word propensity means, they said I had that. And you know, I knew that. I knew that early, that I liked it to get busy. You know what I'm saying? So I'm just saying that my grandfather at a young age, he told me about insight, and me knowing, being insightful and able to recognize that I had certain type of behaviors was able to carry me through life. And that goes back to my thumbnail, the influences that I had in my life. You know what I mean? Some of y'all had alcoholic daddies pissing on the floor, touching on you. You know what I'm saying? What kind of influence is that for a man? What is he going to bring and instill into his children when he has yet to face the childhood traumas that he may have experienced through the influences that he had? You know what I mean? Shout out to y'all, Riz. Shout out to my man Riz. Appreciate y'all being here. Like I said, I appreciate everybody being here. Y'all have a great week. You know what I mean? New week. You know what I'm saying? New money. You know what I mean? Shout out to Miss Redbone. New money, Miss Redbone, my opinion. You know what I mean? So self-motivation, man. That's what it's about. You know? Y'all have a great one. I'm out.